Afternoon, everybody. My name is Pamela Jessen, and today is my very first broadcast. Welcome to There Is Always Hope. That's the name of the blog that I blog under at pamelajessen.com. And I wanted to talk to you today about fibromyalgia and why there are so many doctors who still don't believe that fibromyalgia exists. I've been living with fibromyalgia now for about 25 to 30 years. I'm 56 years old now. And I still run into doctors and physicians who tell me, yes, it's all in my head. I still have doctors who tell me that it's really nothing and that I shouldn't be experiencing as much pain as I do. I have doctors that tell me that it's arthritis. Well, I do have arthritis as well, so I'm not really sure why they seem to think that the two things go hand in hand. X-rays can show me the arthritis that I have, but the arthritis is very easily seen. You don't see that there's fibromyalgia because that doesn't show up in an X-ray. So let's talk about fibromyalgia and what that actually is. It is not inflammation. I want to make that very clear. It's not something that you're able to see on an X-ray, and it's not something that you're able to see in a blood test. The only way that you can test and be sure that you have fibromyalgia is when everything else has been tested for. And there's the standard test, the gold test, what they call, is the tender point. There are 18 tender points in the body, and if you have 11 of these 18 tender points, that is the gold standard that says that you have fibro. These tender points are scattered throughout the body. You can find them, they're up in the neck, on the arms, down in the hips, down in the back, down in the legs, lower spine, 18 different corresponding points. And any doctor who can find those 18 points and clearly you're in great pain when he touches these points, even tenderly, is able to diagnose that that's fibromyalgia. One of the things too, when you have fibromyalgia, there's so many different types of pain that you feel. Non-refreshing sleep. You have problems with insomnia, chemical insensitivities. You experience muscle knots and spasms and twitching and stiffening. There's anxiety. You might have thyroid disorders, night sweats, non-allergic rhinitis, migraines, arm pain, irritable bowel disorders. There may be numbness and tingling in your hands and feet, widespread muscle pain, restless leg syndrome. You could have dry eyes, skins, and mouth, menstrual problems, knee pain, brain fog, dysphagia. There could be problems with jaw pain and lower back pain, plantar fasciitis, morning stiffness, dizziness, sensory overload, sensitivity to light and noise, tender joints, irritability, cramps. Those are just a few of the things that people with fibro experience. And I wanted to show you that list and talk about that list because the list of symptoms is so huge that people just don't understand that it could be fibro when they experience these things. And then they go to their doctors and their doctor says, oh, it's all in your head. It's nothing. It's the flu. Take these pills and go home. Now, there are some medications that you can take that do help with fibro. And the three big things right now are Cymbalta, Lyrica, and Cybala. Those are the three main medications right now that are available. And they do help to a degree, but you also need to be aware that there are side effects with these drugs. One of the big side effects with taking these drugs is weight gain. There's something called brain zaps, and this is where you get a sensation in your head that's like a zap that goes through from one side to the other. And it almost feels and sounds like the same thing you would hear if you had a fly, one of those electric fly killing machines, and that zip sound that it makes. That's what goes through your head when you take those drugs. So you want to make sure that you have a definitive diagnosis before your doctor puts you on those drugs. And because I do get the dry mouth when I have fibro, I'm taking a sip of water. Now, the doctors who say that they don't believe in fibro and they try and put it down to arthritis or to other symptoms, it's really difficult to have a doctor who does that for you, because they're doing you a huge disservice. You're not getting the treatment that you require when you have a doctor who puts you down like that. And my best advice when you run into that situation is find another doctor. You need to have a doctor who believes in you and who doesn't brush you off. There are many doctors out there who do believe in fibromyalgia and who will help you. The important thing is to keep looking. I've got a great doctor. I've had 2 doctors actually in a row who've been really wonderful. So what I suggest to you is, if you don't feel comfortable, or if you feel that your doctor is pushing you off and not giving you the answers that you deserve, find another doctor. I know that's really difficult nowadays to find a good doctor when there's so many waiting lists, but don't let yourself be put off when you know there's something going on in your body and it's not being addressed. Even if you need to go to a walk-in clinic for a little while, please make sure that you are getting the best care possible. Don't let yourself be put off by a doctor who tells you that what you're feeling is nothing. I've had so many different symptoms and signs and stuff that I want to tell you a little bit about some of the things that I've experienced. I've had the ability to tell a doctor what I feel. And some of these words and descriptors might be really good for you to use to describe your pain, to help get the treatment that you need. I've often said to my doctor, if I could actually have bruises to show you what I feel like, you would believe what I'm feeling. And I hope that that's helpful for you. I've often felt like my muscles have been encased in concrete, and that my body has been taken and twisted and then put into a mechanic's vise and squeezed until there's nothing left. And I don't know if maybe that's a way of describing how you feel that you haven't thought of before, but that might be a helpful way to describe the pain that you're feeling, so your doctor might understand a little better about what it is that you're going through. I get pins and needles in my legs to the point where it feels like I'm being stabbed with a knife. And that's not a feeling that any body should be going through on a regular basis. I get numbness and tingling in my hands that isn't coming from carpal tunnel syndrome. It just comes out of the blue, and then it goes away. And then it comes back again, and it goes away. I can't lift my arms to a certain degree above my head. I can't move my arms behind me, and that should be something that I should be able to do. I'm just noticing messages coming up. Thank you. It's good to see people leaving messages and to say that the video is helpful. I appreciate that. There's a couple of things that I want to say to you is that there's days where you might experience brain fog. And brain fog is when you're saying something and then all of a sudden, in the middle of what you're talking about, you completely lose your train of thought. You can have words in your mouth that suddenly just disappear. And that's a symptom of fibromyalgia as well. Fibromyalgia is not just a physical sensation that you feel in your body. It affects every aspect of your being. So you might discover that you're having this conversation with a very dear friend, and right in the middle of what you're talking about, you completely lose the conversation. You have no idea what you just finished saying. As she sips her water again. Don't feel bad if that happens to you. Brain fog is not just a sign that you're getting older. It's not a symptom that, oh my goodness, maybe I've got Alzheimer's disease. Brain fog is a very real side effect of having fibromyalgia. It happens you have to laugh it off. If you don't laugh, then there's absolutely no sense in getting upset. We laugh a lot, people with fibro. I call my blog There Is Always Hope because that's my attitude. I'm a very positive person, and I've discovered that the only way I can go through life with fibro is by maintaining that positive attitude. There's no sense wallowing in misery. You know, I think every one of us goes through something on a daily basis where we're in pain of some sort, and we're going to have to live with this. Things are going to get better, days are going to be worse, and we get to choose how we want to face the day. I choose to face it with happiness because at least I've been given another day to face. My days are in pain 24/7. I don't have a day where I haven't lived in pain, but I can choose how I want to face that day. I like to uphold and uplift people, and it's one of the reasons why I decided to start doing these broadcasts. I want to be able to give people hope. I want to let you know that as bad as it may seem, that you may be feeling a lot of pain, that you do have the options. Things that I've found that are helpful with fibro are using deep breathing techniques. I've started listening to meditation music. Some of the sleeping music is really helpful. If you're a person with fibro who finds it really difficult to sleep, you might find downloading some of this sleep music is really good for you. I found that listening to it when I'm trying to relax is really wonderful. The ones that I find best are the ones that have the soothing rainfall, the nature sounds with the water running or the animals in the background. And really, they're just very soothing, very relaxing. I turn them up a little bit, and really I find them quite helpful, and I would recommend that you look into doing them. Most of them are free, so there's no charge to listen to them. Apple does have a program called Calm, which has been named, I guess, App of the Year, so you could look into that if you're looking for an application to play on one of your devices. Comfort measures, use heat. Find that heat is really wonderful if you're in pain. Some people prefer to use ice. You can use a combination of the two. There's many, many different things that you can do. And I would suggest, if you'd like, to visit my blog at PamelaJessen.com. That's my blog at There Is Always Hope. I've got a number of different blog posts that I've devoted to fibromyalgia, and you can find all sorts of wonderful information there. But mostly I wanted to say to you today before I end this broadcast that you deserve to be listened to. If your body is not feeling right, and if your doctor is not paying attention to you, I want you to find another doctor or talk to another doctor and make them listen to you. You deserve to feel better, and you deserve the right to a doctor who will listen to you and answer your questions and help you to feel better. So that's the main message of my message today. I hope that you've had a good time listening to this. I was nervous broadcasting. It's my first time out, but I do plan on doing this again. So thank you for listening, for tuning in, and I hope to see you again soon. My blog address again is PamelaJessen.com. I blog at There Is Always Hope, and please remember that message because it's true. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care.